there is our first step that is complete. Now comes the second step, wherein I would want to go and where is our MS Paint, wherein I had designed that screens now. Yeah. Now I would want to go and implement the header uh, slideshow, right? And some cards over here so that, just to display the features of the website of the single page application. So we will have maybe we can have a header component. We can have a slide component. So ideally, if I go inside my Excel file, app component HTML will implement a home page. So for that, it will, hold on, I can add some new rows. For that, it will implement a header component, and header component will have subcomponents, right? You can see, sorry, a logo subcomponent, menu and search. Logo subcomponent, menu subcomponent, search sub. So search is already the part of nav bar. So search subcomponent. So if I NENT. So ideally, if I go and take a look at the bootstrap component, which is not yeah, one of the bootstrap component. These are not Angular components. These are normal HTML, right? But in bootstrap terminology, we call them components. So one of them is nav bar. So if you go and take a look at the nav bar already has this logo, menu bar with the drop down and the search, right? So ideally, whatever we want to create using this Excel, using this component structure over here, will all come under one of the bootstrap component, which is called navbar, right? So our job will be done over here. Okay, and now I need one more component will be which will be a carousel or a slideshow component. Slideshow that will be created with the help of a bootstrap component called carousel, right? You can take any carousel of your choice. Now I need to supply the images also for the slideshow. So let's focus on that part, right? And so carousel, so that will be done with one of the bootstrap component called carousel. And I will also need what? User registration form over here. So I can call it user registration component, right? So that will be done with the help of maybe a template or reactive form. Sorry, that will be done with the help of template or reactive form. So let us work on it. Let us see how it is done, right? So I will first set up a header component. So for that, what I need to do is slowly now you will see website will come into shape, right? So I will need to remove everything from here, right? So all this code will needs to be, I will need to remove everything. So Control A from app component HTML, we will remove everything. So I can say SPA home page, maybe an H1, and then say SPA home page and save it. Everything will go off from here. So what we have is the SPA home page. Now first step, let us implement the navbar. Okay, fine. So for that, I will either implement a navbar over here, or I will create a new component wherein I would be implementing a navbar, right? So if you go and take a look at the Excel file, uh, we are going to have a header component, and header component is going to contain the navbar, which in turn will contain logo, menu, and search bar, right? So let's get a header component now, right? Header component. So for that, I will need this window, Control D. I will need a new command prompt window, and I will need to generate a new component, right? I will say cd angular app and ng generate component. So let me create a header component. So let me say I'm working with the shop, and inside a shop, what I want is a header component, right? Header component. I hope my project is completely saved. There are no unsaved. Oh, there is one unsaved file. There should not be any unsaved file when I am trying to use this ng tool, right? So hold on. Let the project compile successfully. So let me create the component now. But India. Okay, so you can see header component is created inside the header folder, inside shop folder, right? So ideally, and we have the root module updated. Okay, so if you go and take a look, where is our Visual Studio Code? Root module is updated with the header component, right? You can see the import has been made, and the same has been done inside the declarations array. Make sense? Now let me quickly go and implement a view of header component. So how do I implement a view of a header component? But before I implement a view of a header component, I need to load a header component inside the app component HTML, right? So inside app component HTML, I will go and take a look at the selector of the header component, which is app header, and put it inside the view of a header component, right? So put it inside a view of a root component. Sorry for that. So here it is. Gone. So header component is loaded inside where I need to open the browser now. Header is loaded inside the root component, that is app component HTML. So fine, I can set up a header component now. So inside header component, that is inside app, inside a view of a header component, I can have the code for navbar. Okay. Now things will start falling in place. In next 30 minutes or so, you will have the navbar and the slideshow in the working condition. So here we are having a navbar which can either be light or dark, right? So here it is. So I can copy this whole code, whatever it is. It's a pure HTML with some CSS classes pre-applied. Where are these CSS classes coming from? The CSS classes are coming from the Bootstrap library, right? The one which we have integrated in our Angular project. So I have copied this complete code, this whole section, right? So if you want other navbars, other version of navbars, you can copy them accordingly. Let's say you want one without search bar and without drop down, then you can copy this. If you want a one only with this, only with the search field, you can copy this. If you want one with only with logo, text, and search field, then you can copy this. So depending on what you need, I have copied the one with the logo, text, menu with the drop down, and the search text, right? So copied. I can go to the view of my header component and paste it as such over here. Boom. I hope it is all visible to you, right? So you can see. Let me save it. I have not yet saved it. Let me save it. Let it come over here. Right? You can see it is there. What happened? Of course, it won't work, but yeah, we have got the nav bar over here, right? So everything is just working fine. Why it did not work? It is Trying cannot convert object to primitive value. That menu is not opening in the responsive mode. Ideally, it should open. No, if I work with this drop down, it is working. The moment I bring it in the responsive mode, this menu does not open. So that needs to be checked. I will check it. But for now, we have the navbar in place. So I can simply remove this title now, right? So I can go back to the app component HTML and remove this up. So what we have created as of now is we have a navbar, right? Implemented with Bootstrap. Navbar is implemented with Bootstrap. So I need to now replace this links, whatever I have over here, with the router links, right? Because in Bootstrap we work with router links. So I will need to replace them with the router links. That's number one. And let me change, give this navbar some dark theme because it's having a white theme, light theme, no? So I can go to my header component HTML and let me change this light to dark and save it. Boom. Now we have got navbar with the dark theme, right? So looks good. Now I need to implement the, as of now we are just implementing a raw bootstrap HTML. We have not yet replaced this links with the router links, right? If you go and take a look, these are our links, right? href. Can you see this home? This link, right? Can you see this link? This drop down is over here. Drop down, and drop down is having this action, another action, and something else over here. Can you see? Action, another action. All of them are href. So what I will ideally need to do, replace this href with the respective router links, depending on what kind of router links I need over here. When I would be clicking on those router links, I would be going to the new page with the single page effect, right? And here is our search bar. Can you see this form? I will need to convert this form into a template driven form or a reactive form, whatever I want to use to implement a search field, right? Over here, need to implement a search feature. Okay, so now let us go ahead and implement a carousel. So we will end up our session over today with the carousel, right? And some cards towards the bottom. Okay, so to implement a carousel, I would want to work with what? If you go and take a look at your Excel file, I will need a navbar is done. I will need a, so navbar is done. So ideally, the second step was to implement header, which consists of navbar and slide show, right? So for navbar, I am using, sorry, for navbar, I am using what? Bootstrap for navbar, and for header for slideshow, I will be using uh, bootstrap for carousel. Make sense? So I need to now, for that I will need a slideshow component, right? And I will not also need a user registration component, which I will use within within this slideshow. Hold on. So let us first create these two components. One is the slideshow and one is user registration, right? So I will, project is saved. I will go back to the command prompt and say what inside a shop. Uh, I want to create a slideshow component, right? Right. And inside a shop, I also want to create the user registration or maybe registration component. Make sense? Right? So you can see, hold on, let it finish first. Yeah, it is finished. So you can see the respective root module is updated, right? So if I go and take a look inside the root module, which is app.module.ts, so you can see the respective aliases are maintained over here, and the same has been updated inside the declarations array, right? Okay, okay. And if you kind of go and take a look at your shop folder, within shop folder you have got three components: header, registration, and slideshow. Now I need to use slideshow. Okay, where will I display slideshow? Over here, right? So I can say inside my app component HTML, I can say what? Uh, Carousel used for slideshow. Make sense? So I need to set up a slideshow now. So where is my slideshow? Here it is. And what's the selector of the slideshow? App slideshow, right? So that's what I need to use over there. So here I have it, app slideshow. So if you can see, it says slideshow works, isn't it? Okay. So now I need to go inside my slideshow, inside the view of my slideshow, and paste what over here? I will paste the code of carousel over here. So I will go to my Bootstrap components page and get the thing for carousel. So you can see if I want to display the slides only, if I want to display the slides with the controls, right? This one. If I want to display the slides with the indicators, right? This one. If I want to display the slides with the captions, right? This one. So if I want to display it with the captions along with the image source, I will need to set up the captions also. Let's kind of go and use this one, the slide with the captions, right? So I can also display the slide with the crossfade. So for that, what I need to do, I simply need to change the class. I need to use the class called carousel slide, carousel fade, isn't it? And here, what is the class which is used? Carousel slide. So first, we will going to go and implement this, and then see if we can also implement a fade effect. So let us implement this, the one with the captions. So I will copy this code, right? I've completely, the whole thing will be copied. Copy this code and paste it where? Go inside in here and paste it over here and save it. See if we get a slideshow over here. Hold on, the code is compiling. So we got something, right? We got something, but the images are not displaying. Why? Because as you can see, there are no images. Images are not being pointed over here. So I need some images now. काम खत्म ही नहीं होता, images चाहिए भैया. I will take it from images.google.com, right? So ideally, hold on, open source images. So I will take this one of world map. I hope it should not be the, I will take the one which is colorful. Oops. No, it's not a free one. It's a paid, looks like it is paid one. Yeah, it was a paid one. Why did I click on it? I need a free one. Yeah, right click, open image in a new tab. It's a JPG image, I can use it. Okay, I will save it, save the image. Where do I need to save it? I need to save it inside the assets folder, right? So here we are Angular app. Inside source, we have this assets folder. There I need to save it. I will get a new folder. I will call it images. And within images, I will create the one for slide, because these are going to be for slideshow now. Slideshow. And within slideshow, I will save it as maybe one.jpg, one.jpg, right? So we have saved one image. I need at least 4 or 5 images. Go back. Let me take the images from the other category now, right? It's not a free one. I need the one which is free to use. So I will call it as 2.jpg. Just be with me for a couple of 4 or 5 more minutes and we should be done with this thing. Let me take the one from health and medical, or maybe fashion and beauty, or arts and design. Oh, sorry, I need to go to the free category. Sorry for that. Free arts and design. After this, I will take one more image, right? So ideally, I will have 4 images in total, right? And I will take the one from, I don't have it over here. Um, One from automotives, right? Makes sense. The good thing is from this website, all the images are of same dimensions, right? So I will end up, I will not be doing the work of resizing the images. So ideally, when we work with slideshow, we have the images of the same dimensions, right? So that will not be required over here, as this image, this website is giving us the. So I will also share the website of this link of this website inside my Excel file, inside the Excel file, not my file. Um, Make sense? I'm trying to share as much information as possible, right? So that things become easy for you going forward. Let us use those images now, whatever we have in here. So ideally it will come from assets folder, right? So where is this? Where is this? What do you call? I mean, what file? Slideshow component.html, right? The slideshow component.html is inside the slideshow folder. So uh, I will need to set up a path. Ideally, all the images should be in the assets folder. Where is it declared? If you go and take a look at your angular.json, there it is declared that all the images, all the media should be inside the assets folder. Hold on. Here it is. Can you see assets? All it should be inside the assets folder. So hold on. I can go over here and say what? Inside my mm, assets folder, I have images. Inside images, I have slideshow, and within that, I have got one.jpg. Makes sense. Hold on. Let us see if it comes. Oh yeah, it came. Great. right? In the same way, I can copy this whole thing and then paste it over here. It will be 2.jpg, right? And this guy is going to be 3.jpg. And don't I have any more slide? Hold on. Only this slide, only 3 slides, 1, 2, and 3. I do not have fourth one. Okay, I will copy this carousel item and set up my fourth one, right? Because each slide is a carousel item, right? So I can have a 4. Make sense? So if you go and take a look, oh, what happened? What did I do? Looks like this is extra div. No, okay. That was extra div. I do not know why did I make that mistake. This div looks fine now. Okay, let me format the code. Okay, so if you go and take a look, this is what we have over here. So if you go and take a look, this is our slideshow, right? So our web application is slowly coming into shape, right? And down there, maybe towards the bottom, I can have cards, right? Um, so once we are done with this, down there we can have a card or where is my browser? Here it is. Oh, okay. So if there is something called Jumbotron, right? So you can have a Jumbotron towards the bottom, right? Something like this, or a fluid Jumbotron or this Jumbotron, which will pitch certain campaign information or certain marketing information to the users of the website. So maybe I can copy this, um, go back here, um, and create a component called Jumbotron, right? So I hope my project is completely saved. Yes, everything is not saved. Save it. I will go back to my terminal and say what inside a shop I want to create a Jumbotron, or maybe I can call it shout shout out component, right? Where will I load this shout out component? Just below the slideshow component. So I can go back to my app component HTML, and what I can see, though shout out component was not a part of a plan, I just created it. Shout out component. Makes sense? So I can say what? App shout out. You can see it is available over here, right? If I kind of go and save it, um, I will have it down there. Shout out works, but I need to have a typical user interface. So I have already copied that thing from the website, right? So I have already copied this HTML from the website. So I will go back to my editor inside a shout out component, inside a view of the shout out component, and paste it. Make sense? So if I go and take a look now, we have the shout out over here, and down there we can have some kind of footer thing, right? So um, I can have a footer implemented over here. So I think we can do it when we meet again on Monday, right? Wherein I would be implementing this router links and user registration form over here, and also updating this text with some valid text. Ideally, we would have a overlapping form over here, which will lie always on top, and user can register as a new user. So ideally, when I will be submitting the data as of now, when I implement it, it will not be saved in the database. But going forward, we will implement all those services. So first, our job is to implement a user interface. So once all the user interface is in place with some kind of dummy data, we will go ahead and work with services as well, program our services as well. So let me quickly go and commit this code on GitHub, right? So hold on, git add dot git commit hyphen m, and today is the day one, and what we have been we have done bootstrap and home page, right? That's what we are doing. I already did git add dot, right? So hold on, let me save certain files looks like they are not saved. I will close them. Okay, now it is okay. Now I will need to create a new repo for you people, right? Because I have not yet created a repo. Let's call it shop app, and we are doing it in April 2020. I hope the session was useful, right? So we are going to continue with the very same app on Monday as well. Then we meet again, and we will continue. Let us see how much we are able to finish on Monday. Sorry. आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, दूर है इंडिया. Okay, so the code is committed on the GitHub. You can take it from my account. So I'm also sharing the URL with you people over here. It goes. I'm sharing it with you in the chat window, right? So hold on, here it goes. I've shared it with all of you in the chat window as to where the code is, and which it also contains our XLSX file and our app plan, right? So you can take a look. So that is all for today. If there are any queries, feel free to ask. I am done for the day. I'm done for the day. Any queries? Please ask. Else we can wrap up. Have a good weekend, guys, and stay safe at home. Make sense? Why would it make sense? Everybody has to stay safe. Huh? Any query? Team members, please ask. Looks like there are no queries. Huh? Okay, fine. Then let's wrap up the session and see you all on Monday. I have committed everything on the repo, and you can take it from there. Hmm?